Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Welcome to Purple Daily. NFL Takes, our little weekly island where we go around the NFL. And we don't just have takes on the Vikings. Judd's Camp Notes is more versatile than that. In fact, we're going to start in the division here in a moment, and Judd's going to lead us off with the first NFL take. But a shout out to Grandpa's Barbecue. Dex?
It is BBQ season. In fact, locally here in the Twin Cities, you can find Grandpa's Barbecue at all Fratelloni locations as well. So you can get it locally, but you can also still go to the website, grandpasbarbecueshop.com. Free shipping on orders $50 or more. I saw our guy, loyal listener David in Duluth, in my favorite city, cooking things up with the Grandpa's Barbecue seasoning, the dry rubs, the sauces. There's plenty of great stuff. Go support our sponsors. And if you're into all that type of barbecue season, go to grandpasbarbecueshop.com.
Joe, why don't you lead us off
Football.
with the first NFL take?
I'd love to. Absolutely would love to. And here's my first take outside of the Vikings, but very much within the NFC North. And it's this. The Packers have finally addressed wide receiver in the first round, and by all accounts, Matthew Golden appears to be the real deal. Now, the last time the Packers drafted a receiver in the first round was back in 2002 with Javon Walker, who actually had one great year with Brett Favre. The Packers have had good receivers at times since, but if you recall, at the end of the Aaron Rodgers era, one of his biggest complaints is, why aren't you drafting receivers higher? And the Packers have cycled through some good players, but the reality is this was the first time in a long time that they have been very, very proactive in trying to solve the problem. They take Golden with the 23rd pick, and this could cause an issue. I'll say this for the Vikings. This could cause an issue if the cornerback spot for the Vikings turns out to be as potentially thin as we're concerned about, especially in the nickel package when Byron Murphy Jr. goes inside, Jeff Okudah is outside, Isaiah Rodgers is outside. Golden sounds like a stud. So this is a little bit among the concerns, which include from the north. Oh my God, the Chicago Bears are going to win the Super Bowl. Have you seen the Bears? Have you seen how great they are? I've seen the Bears a little bit in training camp. Not that impressed. Yeah. Matthew Golden's impressive.
Yeah, they've definitely been. When was their last bona fide number one wide receiver?
Devontae Adams.
You're right. Devontae Adams. My bad.
Oh, Adams. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
But before that, it was like guys that were number one receivers, but that maybe they actually weren't because the Hall of Fame quarterback turned them into number one receivers.
Greg Jennings in his prime in Green Bay was really good, but I think he was a second or third round pick.
Yeah, and they Donald Driver was a really good receiver for a while. Javon Rocker. Sterling Sharp, Hall of Famer this year, early 90s.
Yeah.
I would say, that guy. I would say just about the Packers, it feels like people are sleeping on them a little bit, especially Vikings fans. That there's this this kind of scoffing, they can't beat the best teams. They got beat twice by the best teams in their division and the Eagles, and there's a clear line, but they've been one of the youngest rosters in the league the last few years. They've been cultivating Jordan Love, now going into year 3 as a starting quarterback. And so he sat for 3 years, played for 2. You've seen some major flashes. So there's a good chance that there's another level left in Jordan Love's development. And just generally, the last 35 years of Packers football, it's kind of amazing how consistently competitive they are. Like the Vikings, to compare, haven't been to back-to-back playoffs since 2008, 2009. The Packers have gone back-to-back the last 2 years. They missed a year as they were winding down the Aaron Rodgers era, but then it was 3 consecutive, including 2 conference finals appearances. Before that, they went to 8 straight playoffs, including winning a Super Bowl. And only once since 1992, they were 9-7 in 1992, Brett Favre's first major splash on the scene. They've only really had one disaster season. Disaster meaning 5 wins or less.
05,
in
right?
35 years. The 05 Packers.
Yeah, they were terrible.
They were 4-12. Brett Favre was an interception machine. So they've had, with injuries baked in, they've had a couple little 6-win seasons, 7-9s in there. But
Yes.
generally speaking, the Packers are always competing for division championships. Matt LaFleur, I think Matt LaFleur sometimes needs to just like take a deep breath or like drink a 5 milligram THC and chill out for the night. But like, he's a damn good coach. They've developed a running game. But they need to take that next step and start beating the best teams. And the Vikings have had their number in the regular season too, the last couple years.
Yeah. And if you recall, I think it was the first play from scrimmage in O'Connell's first year, 22, Packers playing here. Rodgers throws a dime to Christian Watson.
Yep.
And the ball, he just drops it.
Oh,
and so like that changes that game entirely, right? Because that is, if he catches the ball because he'd beaten the cornerback, it is 7-0 on the first play from scrimmage. What I would say about the division is this as well. It feels like the Bears are a theory, like, oh, Ben Johnson's going to do this and Caleb's going to develop. It's a lot of theories. The Packers are far more, from what you just read, Phil, a known commodity. And if they're going to put in a true number 1 first-round pick receiver, that's going to make your life eminently more difficult.
Yep. So, well, we'll see. We'll see what that, there's a lot of questions there, and it's a really tough division, but they're good. Okay, NFL take from me here. The NFL media landscape is changing forever, and I'm fascinated by it. So I don't know how many people dug deep on this news that came out, but The Athletic was the first to break this. The NFL and ESPN reached a blockbuster agreement that will place many of NFL Network's holdings, like their content platforms, with ESPN in exchange for equity in ESPN that is potentially worth up to 10% or billions of dollars, according to The Athletic. So the TLDR version of this is ESPN will now have the rights to the NFL Network at large. This will take like a year to finalize, so it's not necessarily a 2025 thing. But so they will then have the rights to the NFL Network at large, so Good Morning Football, like the network and all the top shows on it, Red Zone channel, NFL's fantasy football properties, and the 7 or so NFL Network game broadcasts that are currently on the schedule. The deal also coincides with ESPN's straight-to-consumer streaming service that launches in a few weeks here. So essentially, like in 2026, it's like $29 a month. If you want ESPN just injected straight into your TV and your veins, you can't get that right now unless you go through a YouTube TV or a Comcast or whatever. But starting in a few weeks, if you want to watch all of ESPN's daily programming and just pay for that and not like a bigger package, you can. And what they can start to do is say, you want the Red Zone channel? Well, you'll have to sign up for ESPN streaming service, just $29.99 a month, right? Or pay for it in some other form. And according to The Athletic, in the ESPN family of networks, NFL Network could be looked upon kind of like the SEC network, where you've got the standalone channel that covers the SEC 24/7, while the main channel, ESPN, also talks about SEC football, and you've got contributors and faces that kind of cross-pollinate both networks. So this is massive. I think it only deepens ESPN's connection to the NFL here, because they're both going to be in bed with each other, owning properties and even like owning a stake, NFL owning a stake of ESPN. But what are your thoughts about this news that came down late last week?
Oh, God. I'm very concerned about one thing right now. It's Red Zone. Because
they're already sneaking commercials in there.
I know they
it's
are.
no longer commercial free.
And they're side by side, but you know what's coming next is breaks. And especially with this purchase price and the agreement, I am very, very concerned. Because to me, and I've talked about this before, I think Red Zone is perfection. I think it's absolute perfection. The switching around is great. It allows you to multitask without it being a situation like back in the day with Sunday Ticket, where you literally had to switch from game to game to game. And you know, this is, and I am really, really worried about commercials. I'm concerned about what you just said, which is it's going to change its place and where are we going to find it. There's just a lot of things there. The rest of it, I don't care too much. Like, now I do think that there's probably going to be changes. Are you going to keep, if Shefty is your insider and you're ESPN, are you going to keep Rap Sheet? Are you keeping everybody? Are you keeping some of them? So there definitely
and also
could be
like
some changes.
Would it continue to be NFL Network and it's just owned by ESPN Disney, or would they take some of those assets and roll them into like ESPN platform? So would Good Morning Football become a morning show on ESPN2 up against like Get Up, the more general morning show, versus like would they sunset NFL Network as a channel, so to speak, and just run those different programs?
Probably not immediately, but eventually, yeah. I could easily see that. Or what they're going to do, I think this is all geared towards trying to put more on the ESPN Plus streaming service as well. So what they might do is sunset the network as a traditional cable satellite channel and put programming and take the talent from there and put them on streaming. The other thing is, I don't know how long this agreement is for, but if I'm not mistaken, the Sunday Ticket is a YouTube product now, right? Didn't they cut a deal that started last year? They left DirecTV, and the Sunday Ticket became YouTube. Okay, with the long play here then, ESPN streaming is going to get their hooks into that, and they tried before. And if you've seen, it started with hockey. What they're trying to do is they're trying to absorb all of those, like Sunday Ticket, the center ice package, which they've absorbed now, and they're talking to baseball as well, so that they take all of those in, though, and then they just pay baseball to show games. Yeah. So this is going to be a really interesting relationship. I would also guess that anything that was too critical of the National Football League that previously appeared on ESPN might now no longer appear. They might be told, hey, but we'll see.
I mean, but that's the complicated thing is because they have a financial relationship now, right? I mean, ESPN's paying all this money to be a partner of the NFL, and that's been an issue in the past where if you get too critical, and this will even deepen that relationship. Yeah, it is kind of funny, though. Baseball is over there watching. They're like, okay, ESPN cut ties with us after 35 years, but they're running an indoor golf simulator league to fill time on TV. And they should have known when Rob Manfred walked up to ESPN's doorstep and rang the doorbell to negotiate. And this was the doorbell ring. It's like, okay, I think we're probably being boxed out of this thing.
I think we're cooked.
Yeah. The one guy that does benefit greatly from commercials, if they sprinkle them in, though, is Scott Hansen, who hasn't taken a bathroom break. 7+ hours of commercial-free football in 15 years.
He's got a whole thing, though.
Let's get that guy a bathroom break.
He knows. Like he drinks a ton the night before, pees it all out, dehydrates himself. I mean, don't deprive Scott of the ritual that's become him not taking a bathroom break for 7 hours.
Dex, what's your NFL take?
Yeah, it's very simple. Pay the man his money. That's my take, and I am referring to Scary Terry McLaurin in Washington. So he wants a new contract. They gave him a 3-year deal 3 years ago. He's still set to make like $25 million this year, but with wide receiver contracts going up, he wants a new deal, and he's holding out until he gets it. And Commanders were a game away from going to the Super Bowl last year. They're one of the most exciting teams in the NFL. Jaden Daniels was awesome. And now you're going to draw a line in the sand and say, we are not going to give you the contract you deserved. When you were catching touchdown passes, and I found the list from Taylor Heineke, Case Keenum, Sam Howell, Dwayne Haskins, RIP, Alex Smith, Jacoby Brissett, Marcus Mariota, Kyle Allen, Carson Wentz. He had everyone throwing him the football that he should be nowhere near. Those should not be his QB1s. Also, Washington, you have endured horrible ownership stuff, the name change. Your franchise has been drugged through the muck up until Jaden Daniels got there, and then you were rewarded with Dan Quinn, and it's finally fun and good to be a Commanders fan. And now you're going to say we're not going to pay this guy, and hell, maybe we have to trade him? What are we thinking here? What are we doing? Pay the man his money.
It is kind of interesting in that division right now. You've got the Commanders and you've got the Cowboys, both trying to overtake the Eagles. Both, by the way, well, the Commanders more than the Cowboys in terms of their cap situations going forward. The Cowboys have so much tied up in Dak Prescott that they do have some cap issues they're trying to navigate. The Commanders in 2026 have the 5th most cap space of any team in the league. And then beyond that, 2027, they've got the 2nd most cap space of any team in the league. So their books are super clean, rookie scale contract quarterback. You're trying to catch the Eagles and take that next step. And the Cowboys, I'll lump this into with Micah Parsons. What is the holdup for both those teams?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're planning on being relevant this year, next year, and maybe the year after that, doesn't the young, cheap quarterback need the touchdown machine that is Terry? And I get that he's going to be 30 years old, so there is like an age thing there.
Sure.
But for the next couple years, I think Terry McLaurin's going to be exactly what Jaden Daniels needs. And to lump in the Cowboys in this same discussion, because they're doing it with Micah Parsons, but in a much more contentious way, where the owner is every day giving these like flaming burn the whole bridge down updates. And Micah Parsons officially requested a trade from the Cowboys. But those two players are so important to the next 2 or 3 years of those franchises. They're not 34, 35 years old. Like Parsons is in his prime, and McLaurin has been excellent. 13 touchdown receptions last year.
Yep.
Great safety blanket and an explosive downfield target. So, yeah, I get that there's a certain amount of negotiation in hardball, but if you're the Commanders, no-brainer of all time, lock up Terry McLaurin. If you're the Cowboys, no-brainer of all time, lock up Micah Parsons and move forward.
The Cowboys are now on par as far as how they are run with the Jets and Browns.
Totally.
Jerry is a complete, like, it makes no sense. And here's the thing, too, is traditionally they pull this stunt and then they pay the guy. Like, what are you burning the bridge for? You're going to pay him. And if you don't, you look crazy. But, like, the Cowboys, and I think this might be why Brian Schottenheimer finally got a head coaching job, right? He's happy to be there. He's not going to push back. He's not going to make waves. And so Jerry has just run amok. But they are the Browns and Jets as far as just complete dysfunctional ownership, casting a pall on the culture of the rest of the franchise.
Yeah. Before we get back to the Cowboys part of this, because I actually have, Judd and I both have a thing on the Cowboys, and there's updated Micah Parsons destination odds. Just anecdotally, off the top of your heads, where does Terry McLaurin rank among underappreciated, underrated players? Because Declan kind of nailed it. He came up this absolute garbage franchise with bad ownership, and he grinds out like 5 years with bad quarterback play, changes all over the place, still putting up 1,000 yards every single year. And finally, when it clicks and they get new ownership, front office, great head coach, star quarterback, and he becomes a touchdown catching machine, a downfield threat. Is he Justin Jefferson? No. But he's got to be on a short list of highly underappreciated players in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
His thing, too, is I think until now, like, he has not stirred trouble up. Like, I think he's been a good teammate and employee of the team. Like, that was a team where he easily could have, and rightfully so, demanded out 5 years ago, right? Or 4 years ago. And so, yeah, I don't know if they don't want to pay him because of his age or what, but it feels like a very odd stance to take. One, because they now feel, the Commanders do, like they're pretty well run. Like they've done a good, post Daniel Snyder debacle. And two, yeah, when you've got this team and Dan Quinn who's changed the culture and they are prepared to cook, and now you're going to be like, well, we're not going to pay you.
It's almost
weird.
Like you have a great playoff moment for the first time in a long time. You reward your fan base, and then the ownership says, actually, we're going to scale back on making this fun and exciting again.
Wow. But it's new ownership there. That's
also true, though.
Yeah,
and
your
he's done a good job.
analogy holds up until that part.
And he's done a good job. Like this is the first time since I think the team was sold that it's like there's an incident and you just think that's sort of odd. Timing's
just
odd.
Get it done. Yeah, it's like you guys are still gonna have a ton of cap space going forward. Judd, so Micah Parsons trade odds according to DraftKings right now. So he finally said, "I've had it. I'm done with this. This is a circus. I want out. Love you guys, but I'm out." And we'll see what happens. But Cowboys are still a minus 300 favorite to retain Micah Parsons. Eagles and Patriots at plus 1,000.
Okay.
Chargers, that would be potentially a final piece to that. That's already the best scoring defense in the league. They could use a little more edge rusher juice.
Yeah.
Plus 1,500. Cardinals, Niners, plus 1,600. Man, imagine the Niners re-bolstering their defensive front.
Yeah, I don't like that for the Vikings' sake.
Rams plus 1,800, and then the Panthers a plus 2,200 if they wanted to get a little splashy.
Patriots because of cap space, right? Because even when I saw the Scary Terry list from The Athletic today, the Patriots were on that too as like 6 destinations for Terry McLaurin. So probably cap space, right? Because they have a boatload of it.
Yeah.
Chargers would be fun. Niners would be fun. It'd be similar. I mean, it didn't really work out too well for them, but the Khalil Mack trade years ago, that really helped.
But he was older then. Like this, this would be akin to trading for Khalil Mack in his prime.
Dude, he's 20. Micah Parsons, who I think inarguably is one of the 2 to 3 best edge rushers in the entire league, which is one of the 2 to 3 most important positions in the entire league, is 26 years old.
Yeah, man.
This isn't like, what is the delay? I guess if you're the Cowboys, you're shocked that like the price is now $40 million because of Myles Garrett and the TJ Watt or whoever else. But the longer you wait, that price ain't coming down.
But the price is set. Like that's the thing is like
correct. It's only going up.
The price is set. Dare I suggest that if they do trade, which I don't think that the Cowboys will, Micah Parsons, it's very similar, different players, different positions, but both edge guys, to the Chiefs trading Jared Allen, who just went into the Hall of Fame, to the Vikings.
Like
Jared
in
was
terms
young.
of, well, yeah, he was
as far as like impact.
Age-wise.
Yeah, I mean Jared's impact here, and in 2009, Favre came along, and we all talk about Favre, but don't underestimate Jared Allen helped change this franchise. This franchise did not have an edge at the time.
And Jared was a first and 2/3, or was it 2 firsts and a third? First and 2/3.
I think it was a first and 2/3, but
like
it was
maybe a player. But part of that was he had some issues. He had like a DUI. He had some off the field stuff that brought he was a little bit. It's dangerous to acquire Jared Allen because he could get suspended or something. And Micah Parsons has none of that.
Yep. And Jared was trying to get paid, and the Chiefs are like, well, but if you get suspended again, it's going to be a year suspension. And Jared said, trust me, I'm not going to do something stupid. And he didn't. But I mean, you just don't. I guess the story is this: the Micah Parsons at this age, you don't get a lot of bites at that apple.
Correct. And that's true for the Cowboys too, by the way. So
100%.
You got to go.
Right? Yeah.
They're terribly run.
So, all right, those are your NFL takes here. As we ramp up to the season, we already had a game last week. We got preseason games coming down the pipes here. So, and by the way, if you haven't clicked that like button and the subscribe button on the Purple Daily YouTube channel, please do so. Help us keep growing this community. Love you guys, and we will see you tomorrow on Purple Daily.